Warning! This podcast contains the Battleback.
Good evening, and welcome back to Big Brother, and welcome back to the As Seen on TV podcast for BB19, Big Brother Season 19. I am your host, Big Brother historian, Luke Labagnera, coming to you live from East Haven, Connecticut. With me, my fellow Big Brother historians and podcast team. Also coming to you live from East Haven, Connecticut, Big Brother historian Dom Greco.
Hello.
And coming to you live via satellite from Los Angeles, California, Jacob Salazar.
Damn, the show is good.
Damn, we are, boys.
High budget.
So, what an epic week we have to cover this week inside the Big Brother house. We know Alex has won the HOH endurance competition, and for nominations, she has also nominated, as we covered, Jessica and Dominique. With potential target being Jessica, things kind of took a slight different direction inside the Big Brother house, and I am going to have you guys take it away at this point. I want you to take place as to what happened after nominations. Dom, Jacob, take it away, boys.
Okay, so someone was speaking in tongues in the bathroom, and I don't know what was going on.
Well,
Dominique, she's upset, obviously. So once in a while, when you're upset, you just go to the only private place you can that's not the diary room. You go to the bathroom. She was in the HOH bathroom, and she was talking to Jesus and speaking in tongues, and she was asking she's asking for answers. Who is the one who put me up? And she hears Paul's name, and Paul is sitting there outside the door when she gets out. Like, oh, look at that.
Such a coincidence, right? But I just have one specific word for Alex going down the road as to what happened later on that day. There are two words I can get for Alex, and those two words are blabbermouth. Because, as you know, I don't know if you guys remember, but Dominique came downstairs and she was praying. She goes, I was having a little talk with Jesus, and I know who the snake is in this house. There's a tempter in this house. That tempter is Paul. So Alex, being the blabbermouth she is, because everybody's a blabbermouth in the Big Brother house, goes upstairs and she says, I know who the snake is. And everyone's like, what? I think it was Mark, Elena, Josh, and somebody else in the HOH room, and Matt and Raven. She points directly at Paul. He's like, what? and without notice, and just like that, Paul's bitch alarm goes off. He slithers downstairs, and he's making those snake noises, and he goes into the dark and sneaks into Dominique's bedroom, and he goes, Dominique, you want to come upstairs and have a little talk, or do you want me to slither over to you, and we can slither our way back upstairs? So he basically...
And so many sexual innuendos.
Should I start hissing now?
Yeah, what did he say? Should I start hissing now, or do you want me to slither upstairs and you can follow me, right?
Oh, yeah, something like that. Oh, it's fantastic. And then later at the eviction, when Paul was dressed as the snake, that was even better. Absolutely love that.
He's like, oh, you want to call me a snake? And he's like, well, in the diary room. He's like, well, I may as well act the part. I'll dress up as a snake. Mm-hmm. So right now, Paul is the snake this season. Last season was Nicole. This season, it's Paul. And what a coincidence. Paul was in runner-up last year. Now, instead of Nicole being targeted as the Big Brother house snake, it's now Paul, the vet.
It's funny how that works out.
It is funny. I mean, I don't know. And then down the road, it came down to, nominations. So the nomination speeches, I thought were very, very good. So everybody, tallied up their votes in the diary room. So, but for the record, I want to put you guys in the spotlight. I want both of you to cast your votes to evict and see if they'll add up with their votes. So, okay, I have to play this game. We've been doing this for 3 years. So, hi, Dom.
Yes.
Please cast your vote to evict.
I vote to evict the meatball.
Okay. Thank you. Please return to the living room as you were. Okay. Jacob, please cast your vote to evict.
I vote to evict Cameron again because this dude is still on my TV screen. Why? I thought we got rid of you like week 1, and like I was happy to see you go. I don't want you to come back, okay? Like, no, he doesn't do it for me. No, I don't need to see him again. Like, I don't care. And I know some people like him. I don't see it. And I honestly didn't. I forgot he was a thing when I saw him again. I'm like, oh, yeah, well, who's that? Is that the maid? What?
Oh, come on. Look, nothing personal, but I liked him. I was rooting for him. So, you know, we all have our tastes. We all have our preferences. But leading up to eviction night, the votes are now in. It is time to give the news to the house guests. So, house guests, Big Brother podcast team, all of the votes are in. Just a reminder, when the vote is revealed, the evicted house guest will only have just a few moments to say goodbye, gather her belongings, and walk out the front door. By a vote of 10-2, Jillian, I had a slip of thought in my mind there, not Jillian. Jillian, you were evicted last week. I'll rephrase that. Dominique, you are evicted from the Big Brother house.
See you later. Don't let the door hit you on the way out.
Don't let the door hit you on the way out. That was right. But you know what? She had Jesus on her side. But she was, if you ask my opinion, I think Dominique was kind of pushing religion on some people in that house. And not that she's not entitled in her religious beliefs. But the way I think of it is, don't push your religious beliefs on somebody else, because they may not feel the same way as you. I mean, what do you guys think?
No, I 100% agree. That's always, like, my big thing when they, like, it seems like every time they cast a black woman, they're also casting one that's, like, very highly religious. And I want to see them break that stereotype. You know, it's like, it was her, and it was Davon, you know, a couple...
Davon wasn't as bad.
Not as bad, but she was still, you know, it was still a thing.
What about Joe Costa? Wasn't she kind of religious? She was a pastor. She was a pastor.
She was extremely... It's a trope that they've been casting that I would like them to break. That's not to say that they don't need a religious person in the house. Personally, I don't care one way or the other. But
well, I don't think they cast you by religion.
It's too coincidental at this point, though.
Obviously, there are recruits, though. There are recruits, and they will cast you if you... Because, like, this is how casting works for reality shows anyway. For this particular reality show, that's not really about talent. Right. It's what they call it a social experiment, but really it's just get a bunch of people in the house and, like, you know, make them look like dumbasses. Mm-hmm. They need certain people who they think will work well with other certain kinds of people.
Or the complete opposite.
Not necessarily work well, but, like, just, you know, they'll get a reaction out of the other people. So that's what we want. So, like, casting a stereotype like that is perfect. And especially when you have, you know, somebody else in the house, or maybe multiple people in the house who aren't religious, or maybe they're atheists, maybe they're Satanists, you don't know.
Mm-hmm. Right. But, actually, correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm remembering back to season 15, Candace, wasn't she religious? She was the black girl, but didn't she have some religion in her too, Candace?
I don't remember.
I don't remember that far back.
That was years ago.
I think she was.
Neither do I, but
I just remember her thing with Gina Marie, and that's, like, the only thing I remember from that season.
Right. But during live eviction night, we also had a special Battleback showdown the next night. That Friday night was the special edition episode of the Battleback, which involved the 4 evicted house guests previously. It was Cameron, Jillian, Dominique, and Cody, all battling it in the Battleback, but there was a Big Brother first. Whoever made it passed to Final 2. Well, the last one standing, the last evicted house guest standing in Evictionville, would battle it off against
Evictionville.
Evictionville. That's where they battled it out. What did you think of those competitions anyway? What did you prefer, the maze race or the target ballot shooting down, whatever they called that?
I'd say I liked both of them a lot. And though they were both very skill-based, I feel like there's more of a luck element to the slingshot. than there is the maze. The maze is 100% skill. There's 0 luck in the maze. Where the slingshot, you may have accidentally shot it, too hard or too soft, and hit a window by complete accident, so there's definitely a random factor in that. But the maze is 100% skill. So I think I'm going to have to go with the maze. And I think that was probably a really good choice for Cody to do, because he has a huge advantage by, even though they're changing the pattern of the maze, by having done it at all and used to the system, gives him the bigger advantage over the more luck-based of the two games. So
here's the thing about the maze. You can't really prepare for a maze exactly, because you don't know, it's a fucking maze and it's going to be different. So you don't know what the path is, even if you have a set path that you had for the last one.
Right.
It's going true for the one that you're going to do next. But I will say, if you know you're going to do a maze, it does prepare you going into it.
Well, it's not only that, it was the controls, how the things were inverted. So Cody was more prepared with the controls than Paul. Paul had to learn that then and there as he was going, where Cody already knew what to expect going into it the second time around.
Well, there's a learning curve to both of these,
Yeah.
If you've never done it before, then you don't even know how it works. And, and even if you have done it before, it's not the same factors. So really, for the second time that Cody had to do the maze, yeah, he's used to the controls. Then again, different maze. But I think he was at an advantage because Paul's never done a competition like this before.
Right.
Like, he's never done a pulley system.
Right.
Yeah, the pulley. The last time we saw the pulley system was when Frankie was in the house, right?
Yeah, that was during the Battle of the Block competition on season 60. Remember, Caleb sat out because he was basically pissed off at Frankie. So he's like, you know what? You're going to battle this out by yourself. I'm sitting out and watching you do it.
Which was a terrible idea because it's a pulley system and that's easier for one person to do.
Yeah.
Right, and Frankie ended up winning it, and he was safe that week. He dethroned the HOH. That nominated him for eviction.
Yep.
But as we all know, after, I want to say it took maybe about less than 10 minutes, congratulations, Cody, you beat Paul and are back in the game. He has beat the Battle Back competition as if he was never evicted. Cody is now back in the Big Brother house. Welcome back, sociopath.
Yay.
I really want him to come back and win this. Like, he was my number one pick, and I'm still rooting for him. Has not changed.
He's not my number one pick, but I just love having him in the house.
Yeah.
He's my favorite house guest, but not my pick to win.
Yeah.
Oh. If anything, out of the two of them, I think I'd rather see Jessica win. Jessica's, I don't know. Yeah. I just think
she has more of a personality.
Yeah, I mean, Cody, when you look at his face is emotionless. Like, there's nothing there.
Cody's sitting
I'm sorry. Cody, if you're watching this someday, it's nothing towards you, man, but you know something? You just got a blank face. No emotion.
I loved during the whole competition.
They were punishing him. The HOH competition.
The HOH competition. But I loved during the whole competition of the battle back. First, the beanbag one. I loved how Cameron was like 7-up on Cody at one point. He looked maybe like not that far, but he's definitely had at least a 5-point lead at one point. And I was like, good for you, Cameron. I still don't think you're gonna win. But good for you. Like, I'd like to see.
Congratulations, guy. They just picked up off the street for you.
Yeah.
What? No, but
I literally forgot about. I know who he was.
But I think what happened was Cody was going a little too fast. Aiming the slingshot with the beanbag. So he's like, okay. I realize I'm going too fast here, and I'm pulling and pulling and pulling, and I'm running out of balls here. So I think my strategy would be is to slow it down and focus on my aim, and that's what got him to the very end.
Well, he was pulling all the way, full strength shots every time when that wasn't the case. He needed to do half shots to hone in his accuracy.
Right. You know what? I think personally, I'm happy that that Cody made it back into the house, because I think, maybe I want to see what his second shot will be and how his gameplay will be within later in the season, because when he first came into the house, he was kind of playing a stupid game. He was playing emotionally. So when he got back in, Jessica took him aside into the lounge, in the lounge room, in the Big Apple room, and she said, listen, you have to come back and you have to play this game differently. Don't be stupid. Don't do anything stupid. That's what cost you the first time.
Yep.
So good on Jessica. I mean, she's smart. I mean, I'm not saying Cody's not smart, but Jessica's saying, you know what? You make one more slip and you're fucked for good, basically.
Well, he's already fucked, but that's besides the point.
No.
The look on his face, when he found out that they haven't even done the head of household competition, he was in his glory, right? And then not only that, when he found out that Jessica had the what is this one called? The Temptation?
Explain the HOH competition.
Well,
we're back to
we didn't get to the HOH yet. I'm talking before the competition. When him and Jessica were talking, and he found out that she had the temptation. What was that temptation called?
The halting hex.
The halting hex.
She could use it within the next 3 or 4 evictions to halt any eviction.
Well, it was the next 4 when she got it. She got it the night of an eviction, so that counted as 1. She's not going to use it this week because she's the head of household.
Right, and her and Cody are in.
She only has it for 2 weeks following this eviction.
Right, and then does it expire or something, or it's no good anymore, right?
Yep.
It expires after 4 weeks. Well, now 2 weeks.
Yep.
Right. So going into the HOH competition, did you want to get into that?
Sure.
Okay. So, as we know, Cody has battled his way back into the game. Now it is time to crown a new HOH. With Alex, as outgoing HOH, was not eligible to compete, but off to the sideline and to keep score. So, here's how this competition worked. Being the head of household, you have to hold your guard up. So, I believe this was an endurance competition that involved holding... Now, I've seen this on Big Brother Over the Top. They had these gloves on that looked like crossing guard gloves with that straw-looking thing. I think they call it a flexi straw or something. They have to hold up their traffic red light underneath the yellow and the green. And the last one holding, and who doesn't drop it, will be the new HOH. But here's the catch. The first person to actually drop their red light, and as we know was Kevin, it only took him 17 seconds to hold that up. Like, seriously.
Which, the way they cut that, and they had the whole thing, and Kevin's like, yeah, I have my whole strategy, and then he drops it, and he just, like, cuts himself mid-sentence. And then it cuts over to Mark, and Mark's like, are you kidding me? Within the first 20 seconds, yeah. Kevin drops his. That's absolute... And then you see Mark drop it. And then it cuts to Paul. And Paul's like, what is up with these two? Like, how hard is it to drop... And then Paul dropped, and I just sat there, and I laughed. I laughed really, really hard, and I don't ever really laugh at this show like that. And I sat there, doubled over, in pain. My sides hurt so bad from... I was not expecting that, like, at all. It was fantastic. I loved it.
Me too. I think we all got a reaction out of that, and everybody in America did. But with this endurance competition comes a punishment. So when Kevin was pulled off, Alex asked him to choose who he would like to punish, and you don't even have to guess. Who did he choose to be punished?
The meatball.
Oh. The meatball. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so what was the first one? They started dumping trash on him, this, like, disgusting, smelly trash or something?
Yeah. That was the only one that I think affected him. And he said it wasn't even the smell, it was the fact that he didn't have anywhere to move on the platform now.
Yeah, and it got even worse.
Yeah. So
what else happened?
He had cement poured on him?
Yep. And then Josh, when it came time for him to drop his light, what do you think happened? Cody mocked him first. He said, yeah, how about that, Josh? How about that?
Yeah.
And so Josh He's like, I got to get my even revenge, Mr. and Mrs. Meatballs, and I'm going to start with the meatball. So then he had cement dumped on him. But then there was that crazy yoga actor who's like in road rage and screaming at him. Cody's like, hello, I was a Marine. They yell at you all the time in your face. This is having no effect on me.
Yeah. No, but it was smart. I think it was Josh and was it Elena that they picked?
Jessica.
I know it was definitely
Yeah.
Josh. I don't remember who the second person was.
It was Elena. Elena chose for Jessica to have the punishment. So they're like, okay, we're torturing Cody. So, you know, what'll really make him lose his strategy is if you pick on his queen.
Yep.
So punish the queen, B.
Yep. And that was definitely a good strategy.
And it worked. He dropped.
He did. I don't know if it was directly related to that, but
I think he was just tired.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was honestly shocked that Jessica was able to do that for 2 hours. 2
God bless the girl.
hours. And
You know, more power to her.
If you want something that badly,
Absolutely. Hey, I'm just gonna...
and if you're determined enough, if you're that kind of person, you can do anything. Not anything, but you could do the thing that you're supposed to do. And she thought to herself, okay, Cody's back in the house, but my ass still isn't safe.
Nope.
I mean, it was because she has the halting
Yeah.
hex, so they technically didn't have to go crazy there. But like she
You don't want to
said,
waste it, though. You
Right.
don't want to be on the block.
right?
No,
So,
nobody wants to be on the block because on the block you're going to be panicking. I mean, if I was on the block, I would be panicking. Even if I was told I was a pawn, it still doesn't matter. You're always panicking because they say pawns do go home in the Big Brother house.
Pawns go home more than the target.
That's
most
right.
of the time.
They're blindsided. It's all about blindsiding.
Yep.
But congratulations! After 2 hours, Jessica, you are the new HOH, and
I was really rooting for Christmas there.
so was I. But you know something? I don't have a problem with Jessica winning because
Oh, I don't either.
after she won, she kind of like I didn't know what was happening at first, but she just sat down and started to cry. I'm like, girl, what the hell is wrong with you? You just became the next HOH and you're safe.
Are you
Not only you're
constipated
safe-
again?
What? No, but then she came out and said, you know what, I have a lot of respect for this game because my father is my hero that got me into Big Brother. We used to sit down and watch it every summer, and he passed away 3 years ago today.
Yeah.
So she had a touching moment, and you know something, I kind of felt bad after not wanting her to win, but you know what, I'm not that. I said to myself, you know what, I'm not going to be that kind of a jerk and not root for somebody like that, but her game strategy and what I've thought about her in the past and stuff, you know something, you know, I kind of have respect for the girl, you know what I mean? It's just she has a man influencing her, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I respect everybody in this game who's people are actually playing the fucking game.
Right, and they are playing the game, while the other ones are puppets to Paul. That's my opinion.
Well, there's a strategy to that as well.
Right,
Being
but
a puppet,
they're-
I guess.
well,
But there are people who do that, and then there are people like Elena who aren't doing shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but I mean, I have to say, I respect Cody and Jessica's gameplay. I mean, they're a showman's team, and I think she's gonna have a successful HOH this week. And Cody said to her, "You don't want to waste your HOH." But after the competition, look, I'm gonna say this: between the competition, when it was Christmas, Cody and Jessica still holding on for dear life, Josh was giving me a headache. Seriously, he wouldn't just shut his fucking mouth. I mean, he was pissing me the fuck off, and I thought I had respect for Josh, but he is a no good. He has nerve calling them meatballs. He's a fucking meatball, sitting off on the sideline. Hello, they're still fighting for this. No, I was pissed. I'm sorry.
I loved Josh screaming at him. Like, you saw, it's basically Paul. Paul was in his ear telling him to do this, telling him to do that.
Did he have to listen and go along with it, though? Come on,
Well, yeah,
Josh.
Josh is very manipulated. He's easily manipulated. And
No.
then you had Paul telling, I think it was Elena, to tell Josh to do that, so it didn't seem like it was Paul telling him to do it. And then you see Elena and Josh whispering, and then You see Josh yelling at Cody, calling him meatball, package of meatballs, forget the ketchup and mustard, put marinara and mozzarella on them.
I'm sorry, that's not right. But there's a thing as strategy, and there's a thing as crossing the line, and Josh was crossing the line. I'm sorry.
It's 100% strategy. It is also 100% poor sportsmanship. It's still strategy.
Yeah, but still,
I don't know if is this a strategy though?
I think it is. I mean, okay, it's 50% strategy. It's 50% strategy, 50% personal vendetta. How about that?
What is this? What is this doing exactly?
It's annoying the hell out of Cody.
It does that bother me?
But it's not right. I mean, if I had somebody doing that to me, I would take offense to it as well. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and then I loved when Jessica nominated him, put him on the block, and she's just like...
tell us about the speech.
She's like, you don't deserve to be here in this house. And then he's in the diary room bawling his eyes out.
You know what, Josh? Laugh now, cry later. That's what I gotta say. Like I said, it's laugh now and cry later with him. He blew up his own game. If he left... No. 10 minutes before the live eviction, he said, you're getting my vote, but I'm coming after you next week. And don't forget that. So she had to take a shot at him. She put up Ramses as a pawn, which she said, Ramses, I want you to know you have nothing to worry about. You're just my pawn. Josh, ever since you have gotten into this house, you have played nothing but a dirty game, and you do not deserve to be here, and I'm getting you out. You were coming after me, now I'm coming after you.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
Can we talk about... No, there's something we need to talk about with Josh. Something will happen with Josh and Mark. Because...
Who?
Mark and Josh,
Oh, Mark.
Mark and Josh were just having a little bit of, they're doing guy things, playing pool out in the backyard. It was fine. It was all great. But they had made a bet.
Yep.
That whoever lost this game, they would have to drink half a cup of pickle juice mixed with half a cup of hot sauce. And so, boys are being stupid. That's what they do. So, okay, they make the deal. They play the game. And Josh breaks one of the rules of pool. He double tapped the ball. You don't do that. So he lost. And so Mark tells him, you lost. And then
it wasn't just the double tap. It was also the fact that he hit the 8-ball in out of sequence. If the 8-ball is not the last ball to go into the pocket when you play pool, you scratched. You lost.
Well, if you hit the ball, the 8-ball, before any of the other balls are gone, then yeah, you lose. So with those 2 strikes, he lost, but he wouldn't accept that he lost.
Right.
No, he would no, and I don't. You have no leg to stand on, dude. You know the rules of this game because you're playing the damn game.
Yep.
And then you made this deal with him, and now that you lost, you're trying to convince him that you didn't lose?
Well, that's why he threw the pickle juice hot sauce in his face.
Well, no, we're not getting to that yet. So, like, after just what seemed like hours, it wasn't, but what seemed like hours of him trying to convince Mark and himself that he didn't lose, when he clearly did, Mark is like, okay, just shut the fuck up and I'll do it. So they make the little concoction, and then Josh, being, the smug little bitch that he is, taunting him while he's, giving it to him, even though he fucking lost. Mark asked him one more time, he's like, so, just Josh, let me ask you, did you win the game? And Josh was like, yeah, of course I won the game. And that's when Mark threw the damn thing in his face.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Both of them are in the wrong. Because Josh, you're a fucking loser. And also, Mark, this wasn't his idea. Elena actually gave him the idea to throw the drink in his face. Mm-hmm. But Mark, the fact of the matter is, it doesn't matter who told you, you still did it.
Right.
I'm glad that you did it. But still, you're not.
Yeah, you're not in the right. Yeah, it's just I don't like Josh in the house. Like if me and Josh were in the house, I'd be like get him out. But from an entertainment point of view, whatever, it's very entertaining to watch. Whether you
this shit isn't this shit isn't entertaining. It's
it
fucking,
is.
Like
I sat there laughing at Josh being an idiot laughing at Josh being an idiot the whole time. I'm sitting there just cracking up. I'm like, this guy is so dumb, and I'm just sitting here laughing at him. He's entertainment for me. However
like,
you want to spin it.
Are we watching TLC? What is this shit? Like, this 2 people.
Yeah, but then the argument escalated over to the pool and the jacuzzi. He pulled the whole house together for a meeting, but then he threw Jessica in the mix, and I'm like, what the fuck did Jessica have to do with any of this? I mean, he starts calling out everybody who threw him under the bus and stuff like that, and Jessica gave him the best comeback yet. Don't call me boo-boo, sweetheart. Way to go, Jess. That was the best comeback I have heard in Big Brother in the last 5.5 years I've been watching the show.
Yeah.
6 years.
I wouldn't say that, but okay.
No, she gave it back.
I think her comment about changing his fucking diaper is better than...
Yeah, I like that too. No, Cody started that one. He's like, why don't you just go change your diaper? Yeah, it is time for a diaper change. And with him, you know something? They ought to just, in a unitard, they should put him in a unitard that's a baby's diaper and have him walk around the house with shit-covered pants for a whole week. He would be in a unitard. Imagine him being evicted in that.
Yeah.
That would be an epic Big Brother moment in history.
Yep.
So, did we cover everything for this week, or is there anything else that you guys would like to add?
Well, we do need to address that the Den of Temptation is over. This is the last time we will be seeing it. So after 3... does this sound familiar? After 3 times you use the damn twist, it's over?
Yeah.
I just think it's because, like, I think they shot themselves in the foot with this by having the temptations last for like a few weeks.
Yeah.
So Jess has this temptation that she can use up until week 4, and well, not week 4, but like 4 weeks later. 4 weeks later is jury.
Yeah.
By that point, we're halfway done.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So basically, I think after this week, we're back to basics. We're going back to regular Big Brother basics, where it's just the normal game that we're used to seeing.
I don't know for sure. I see them throwing a couple more curveballs at us. Now with
this isn't the last
Temptation,
twist, of course.
Yeah, now with the Den of Temptation gone, it makes room to maybe bring Pandora's Box back for at least a week.
We haven't seen that in 5 years.
You know, so there's still room, because that I believe that's the same room that was used for the Pandora's Box, because I know there's a hallway off to the side from outside, but I believe there's also the connecting room from the head of household room.
Yeah, there is. Oh, this is part of renovation, and like you say, Dom, every year you hope that they make the Big Brother house twice as big, right?
No, I want another copy of the Big Brother's house. I
Yeah,
want two groups.
2 separate teams.
Yeah, 2 separate groups. They're unaware of each other. They go to compete, and then when it gets broken down to 16 people, that they all merge into one house and basically start the game over.
Yeah, but like that will take fucking forever. Like, we have a whole summer just for one group of house guests. So like, in order for them to do that, it probably have to be like an online thing, and with smaller groups. But I do like that idea. Oh, and another thing, we need to say about this temptation that Jess has, she can stop the eviction from happening, but she can only do it before people vote.
Yeah.
Similar to Survivor. In Survivor, if for those of you who don't know, in Survivor there are these. It's similar to Big Brother, where people, if you at the end of the day you have to vote one of your own out. There's no head of household or anything. Like, everybody's like fair game. But there are these little hidden what they call idols all around the island. If you find one, then what you have to do is, after people cast the vote, you have the choice to play this. You can play it for yourself, or you can play it for somebody else. But you need to play it after people cast their votes, but before they actually read the votes. So when you do that, all the votes that were casted for that particular person that you're playing for, they're all they don't count. So you could be going home, and you play the thing. Well, all those votes don't count anymore. So like whoever got the next number of votes, you're out.
Right.
There's a problem though if you just have, for whatever reason, you think you're going home, or you just, think for some reason you just want a little bit extra safety, and you play it, you might not have gotten any votes, and you just wasted your idol. So Jess needs to be very careful with this halting hex. She doesn't have to use it right now because she's HOH, so she's clearly not going to stop the nomination unless something goes horribly awry, where there are people on the block that she doesn't want to go home. But then again, you really, with these types of things, you have to be really good at like reading the room and reading people. Because, we've seen time and time again, people get stuff wrong.
Yep. Well, that, and we don't know what the curse that is unleashed upon the house is yet.
The consequence.
Yeah.
It does, we know that it affects the whole house.
Right.
But we
Right.
don't know what it is. And I don't know if it's going to if it's going to take effect this week, or if it's only going to take effect after she uses it.
Do you think that she is going to use it at some point before time's up?
Well,
If-
I think
If her or Cody get put on the block, 100%. But if they don't, I think she's going to lay low.
See, I think if things go well for her this week, because she's in power right now, people are trying to be all buddy-buddy with her, but they ain't buying any of that shit.
Yeah, even
No.
Paul, who's working with Cody, let's be friends and this and that, and nobody will know, and Cody's like, yeah, let's do it, and then in the diary room, you have each of them going, I'm not trusting him,
Right, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And did you see how they didn't talk to Josh? Josh came up to talk to the HOH. She's like, tell him to go away. I don't want to talk to him.
Yeah.
I
You're
don't
not
blame
the
them for
list.
that. Well, no, they were pissed at him because he was being an asshole during the competition. So they're like, the fuck you want? Now you want to fucking talk to us after you fucking ambushed us during the competition? Fuck
You ain't invited to the club, your name ain't on the list, go the fuck away.
Yeah, right. And he deserved it too. I hate to say it, but Josh deserved to be thrown away from the HOH room because he was being a piece of shit to them.
Well, if she doesn't want to talk to you, she doesn't have to talk to you.
No, exactly. It's her right, and good on them. They had a right to kick him out. I was rooting. I was cheering when they told him to get lost.
Yep.
Yeah. But other people, they do get to talk, and they try to get into her good graces, but they all know it's bullshit. They're not believing a single thing. But as soon as this week is over, and she's not in power anymore, then they're going to go back after you, unless the target changes from week to week possibly. But it just sounds like people they want both of those. They want those two gone.
Yeah.
If Cody wins HOH next week after she does, then again they won't have to use the temptation. So I think if they can actually just keep pulling out wins in these competitions, she might not have to use it.
Probably not. No. And then there won't be no curse or consequence on the house, right?
Well, maybe there is, because I think, we've seen these last few temptations, I think the curse was casted even when the temptation wasn't used.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean. Yeah.
But I don't know if this particular one happens after the temptation is used. Because I think last temptation, the curse was in effect after she had. No, wait, no, it wasn't. No, she didn't even use the temptation. So yeah, the curse is gonna happen regardless.
So I think we covered the whole week 4. So I think we could start wrapping up, unless you guys have anything more to add.
No. I think though, if they do get if they can get Paul out, as much as I like Paul, strategy wise, it'd be in their best interest to get Paul out. Paul's clearly the leader of the other side of the house.
Yeah.
And if they take
Leader
Paul
of
out, well, yeah, I mean the other side, as in not Jess or Cody.
Yeah, and that's two people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By getting Paul out, I think opens the door to allow them to work with other people, because as long as Paul is in the house, nobody's going to want to work with them.
But these
That's
dumb
right.
fucks ain't gonna do anything about it. They're trying to win him $1 million.
Right.
Or $100,000.
Yeah, they're trying to get him to the end. I'm like, hello, he made it to Final 2 last year and he won $50K. Let a newbie win this time. Last year, Nicole won, and guess what? She had a man to get her all the way to the end, and it got her the $500,000.
Yeah, if Cody doesn't win, Cody and Jessica are 1 and 2 spot, and if they don't win, I want Kevin to win.
Kevin, you need that money for like your 80 kids.
Yeah.
Oh wait, speaking of which, we didn't talk about the veto
Saran wrap? How about the saran wrap abs?
Oh, those. The
veto. We haven't covered that.
In the competition, there's a temptation in the competition, and it's a cash prize. So Kevin goes for it because he needs all the help he can get, and he wins a whole whopping $27.
Yep. Yeah, and that was the consequence. You were tempted, and you suffered the consequence for yourself. It's like, what am I going to do with $27? And I liked it. It was
your toys. So
it was a balance competition where it was in the Temple of Temptation. They had to balance across the towering lava, and if they fell, their score would go all the way down to 0 again, and then have to start again. Be a waste. They'd be far behind. Anyways, for closing now, thanking you both for another great podcast. I just would like to give out that information and shout out to everyone. Can't get enough Big Brother. There's never a dull moment. See what's happening inside the Big Brother house whenever you want with the Big Brother live feeds. Go to cbs.com/bb19 to try it for free. Dom, where can the people find you?
You can find me down below at Phenomenon, PHENOMEDOM.
Jacob, where can the people find you?
You can find me and all of my giggles and gore and monsters and mayhem here on YouTube at Jacob Salazar, or you can find me on Twitter, tweeting me throughout the life at ToNowhereLand. That is TONOWHERELAND. Join the Nowhereland Society.
Loving it. Dom, take it away.
Where can the people find you, Luke?
What?
Where can the people find you?
Oh,
They can't.
yes. You can find me down below. The what? What'd you call me?
He said they can't.
They can't. Oh, well, you could find me down below on Twitter at Zupa23, ZUPA23. Dom.
You can find us all and more on Facebook, Gmail, G+, Twitter, MySpace, and right here on YouTube at /ASO TV Podcast for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows, games, and movies.
From outside the Big Brother house, I am Luke Labagnera. This is Dom Greco and Jacob Salazar bidding you good night.